In tonight's Equality Matters, we're taking a closer look at the COVID-19 impact on the Asian American community and their fight for respect.
Now an up late, 11 Alive's Chenue Her shows us how this pandemic has led to a battle against racial bias and attacks.
I said you dropped your coronavirus.
Yeah, since the COVID-19 pandemic started, racist incidents like this started popping up, linking Asian Americans to the global pandemic. This comes after some world leaders termed the coronavirus the Chinese virus. The viral outbreak started spreading in Wuhan, China last year.
Chinese people.
These outbursts
Ew, coronavirus
are nothing new to 18-year-old Ashley Ewald by now, who says her race is making her a target more than ever here in Metro Atlanta.
I've been called lingling, chingaling, and it's very offensive. So this kid was like, ew, corona, and stuff like that. I was wearing a mask because my Chinese teacher was handing them out.
Stephanie Cho is the executive director of Asian Americans Advancing Justice Atlanta. She says racism and discrimination towards Asian Americans has always existed, but today's political climate has emboldened some people more than others.
I think more people are seeing and hearing people say things to them that they would have probably not said before.
The Asian Pacific Policy and Planning Council created the website StopAAPIHate.com for Asian Americans to report racist incidents during the pandemic. This year, between March and August, 2,583 incidents have been reported. 30 of those were in Georgia. The stats reveal the incidents ranged from verbal harassment and name-calling to physical assault.
Our ethnicity is now being called out in a hyper-politicized way. That's also being tied to being a perpetual foreigner and then also to disease, right, which is a racist trope.
But for some Asian Americans, racism isn't the only challenge COVID-19 has brought. Life now at home is also different. According to a Pew Research study, in 2016, 29% of Asian Americans lived in a multi-generational home. That's more than any other race. Donna Butts is the executive director of the national nonprofit Generations United.
During the pandemic, some of the concerns that the families have expressed is that family members who go out either to work or to get groceries, things like that, may bring the virus back home.
To help address concerns like this during the pandemic, Generations United has also focused on the multi-generational homes, compiling a wealth of online resources from hygiene guidelines to educational materials. Despite the hurdles the pandemic has set in front of Asian Americans, people like Ewald and Cho see the glimpses of unity.
We are the largest growing population, particularly in the South and in Georgia, and so we actually have a voice, and which means that we actually have power to make the changes that we want to see.
It's just very good for people to speak up because it shows the world that they're never alone.